Well, my friends, it is Monday, and Monday means viewerships. And as always, we start with an RPGNerdos ship. And RPGNerdos has been creating ships with AI help to create the visuals, which I'm sure saves him a lot of time. Because creating the visuals is probably, my guess would be one of the longest parts, but I don't know. But it's really cool looking ship, kind of a forest green and cyan colored looking ship. Almost, the shape reminds me of like the Naboo starfighter from the Star Wars prequels. A little bit shorter in the back, but cool shape to it. The Minimus, or on thebox.com, this ship is called the Minimalist Cruiser. It has no weapons or drones. Interesting. What's going on here? PayPal should not be used, really. Well, some companies only play through PayPal, and this supplemental thing I'm trying to do apparently only pays through PayPal, so... yeah, PayPal sucks. They don't want to talk to you or care about their users. Yeah, I kind of agree with that. They probably only care about, like, their business customers or something. Let's see what this is. The Alth Cruiser. This might be the most simplest spacecraft to exist. It brings to the table 4 Berserkers, AI, and a bare minimum of systems. Rip and tear till it's done, Captain. Discover the mysteries that make this loadout work. So do we have a teleporter? Okay. We have no shields. No weapons, no drones, no heal bay. Wow, this really is missing a lot of things. Zoltan shield bypass and lifeform scanner, so we can board. PayPal. Boarding's about all we can do here. The shape of this ship reminds you of Avatar. The ones that had wing thrusters that can rotate for vertical takeoff. Oh, yeah. Yeah, what are those called in... HVAC or something? Vertical takeoff vehicles? There's like a word for that, right? VTOL, yeah, VTOL. It's like, looks like could be like a VTOL thing. So we have a Brim Flame Sorcerer. These are the guys that conjures a fireball that can be teleported, and after 5 seconds it explodes. Let's see, and we have 4 Berserkers, which can't man or repair, but they can board. And they're immune to suffocation when they run out of O2. So I don't have a way to heal, do I? Interesting. Do I have a way to heal with the flames? I don't think so. Vertical takeoff and landing, that's what those ships are called. Okay, cool. I mean, I think this ship resembles the helicopter-esque machines that Harkonnen fly at Arrakis. Yeah. I watched a Dune video on YouTube yesterday. I guess maybe we're supposed to find a heal bay. Maybe that's what we're supposed to do. Do we have Gibbs? Follow the rebellion? Wait, we have a... Oh, we have a Zoltan shield. I thought we didn't have any shield. But apparently we have a Zoltan shield. Well, Abyssal Lantern doesn't do anything when we have no weapons. So... I think I actually have to take the Oceanic Insignia. So, sorry, Meow. Blame RPG, but Abyssal Lantern doesn't do anything when you have no weapons. I did it. No Abyssal Lantern for us today. And so these guys can't man systems. I know. We left it behind. If I use this guy's ability, will he still man a system? I'll look at his description. He conjures a fireball. Be cased in a protective force field for 10 seconds after the ability is used. I think he still mans systems. There's so many little things between Void War. So Void War, when you character uses his ability, is not manning a system. I don't think that happens in FTL. So do I have no honor? Well, towards Abyssal Lantern, I guess not. What's the cooldown on teleporter? 10 seconds. So do I want to board with these guys, or do I want to start with a fireball? I might... What if I leave 1 crew on my ship and board with 3 dudes in it? It's a single fireball, right? It is. And I can move it. Okay, so I could potentially... I could board with 3 guys and 1 fireball. Maybe. I'm not sure if that's what I'm supposed to do or not. this was Dune, he would have a hideous Space Guild navigator on board and have to feed him spice. True, true. Huh. This thing stays for a certain amount of time, huh? What happens if you run into an auto scout? These guys are immune to suffocation for at least some amount of time. I think that maybe the fireballs do hull damage? Do they? Yes, after 5 seconds it explodes, deal hull damage. So we can very slowly kill them with fireballs, I think. Or I could get the health down with our berserkers and then finish them with a fireball, potentially. Alright, Nebula does not give me an extra jump. Might go that way anyway. Yeah, the YouTube video I watched, of course, Auto Scout, was why, what was it? Why, or Tolkien's problem with Dune or something. The reason Tolkien didn't like Dune is like an analysis of why Tolkien, that's how you say his name, was not a fan of Dune, kind of thing. Alright, so they were able to do enough damage to not... Or their O2 tank lasted long enough to not take any damage for an auto assault, so that's good. I need to do more hull damage before sending over a fireball, I think. I don't know how much hull damage a fireball does. We'll test this, I guess. Alright. Okay, its offense is back online, which is not ideal. We want the drone to be down, most importantly. Okay, I think it did 2 hull damage, I think? Is that right? Did I see that right? I think I saw that right. Well, he's taking damage from the fire, I think. Is he healing or... He healed. Interesting. Do they heal when they're using the O2 tank? I'm not sure. Alright, so one more fireball should finish him. Hopefully the drone doesn't come online before the fireball gets over there. I think we're fine. I think we're fine. You can board with 4 berserkers even on this ship. You'll be able to get them back right on time with level 3 teleporter. Yeah, but I don't want them taking any damage because I don't think I have a way to heal. Although those guys did seem to heal for some reason. What's going on with these guys? Hydra suit. O2 tank. The berserker begins to suffocate. As soon as it becomes to suffocate, switch to emergency O2, becomes immune to suffocation. Once exhausted, the tank will need 20 seconds to restore its reserves. Was there a passive heal happening? I feel like I saw a passive heal. Did the fireball heal? I feel like the fireball did damage. What about thermal tracking kit? There's no heal there. Berserkers have no healing. The ship is basically you discovering stuff that makes it work. Okay, well... I saw a green heal animation. I don't have a heal thing, and there's nothing in my crew description that says they heal. So I don't know what caused that, and I don't know how to figure out what's causing it. Maybe I need to look at the computer. Jesus, man. 2 effing auto assaults with drones in a row. F you, FTL. They should start slowly suffocating when their O2 runs out. Yeah, but there's green going on, and I don't know why they're healing. I'm so confused. Okay, I'm gonna board a couple times then. As things get repaired. I'm so confused. I don't know why they're healing. Help me, help. I don't know where I am. Why are they healing? Am I supposed to be able to figure it out? There's a hidden augment. Okay. Why didn't you tell? Why doesn't the ship tell me there's a hidden augment? This is like the first time where I feel like there's a mechanic on your ship that's not explained at all. Did I miss something in the description? I don't think I did. It's confusing to me when there's stuff that I don't know where it comes from or know that is there. Come on, weapons, so I can, there it is, do that. It's an April Fool's joke. April Fools, you're stronger than you thought. Oh, well, that's a pretty good April Fool's joke, but it's July. And it's not the first of the month. Okay. It's all packed like a gift. You first wonder how you make it work, then discover you're correctly some amount of passive feeling after the first fight or two. Okay. So it's like a surprise birthday present. Surprise! I hate surprises. Actually, I like surprises. Oh, it only did 1 hull damage. Well, damn, I think I'm gonna have to summon another one unless this does something. Come on. Oh, nice, good. Alright, well, are there other surprises? I mean, you know what I haven't checked is if the computer's got anything going on here. Internalize augments, so I can internalize that. Nothing there. See effects. Oh, there! Okay, there it is. So it is shown, but it's hidden. Inside the computer, if you see effects, we have royal jelly. Alright, okay. So we do have healing. I'm a little less susceptible than I thought I was. Okay, there it is. We found it. We found the secret hidden internalized augment. The Zoltan shield was actually the first surprise. Yeah, I guess I wasn't expecting that one either, since it didn't say anything about it. Okay, well that was an empty quest jump. Thanks for nothing. Wow, literally nothing but auto scouts in Sector 1 with my boarding ship. Gotta love it, right? Well, at least we now know how it works. And I can bring these guys back and forth as a group now if I want to. I guess I should have just moved them there. Beep boop beep boop. Alright, so the fireball did only 1 hull damage. For some reason I thought I saw 2, but I think it's only 1. Alright, I'll let him go back and heal. Pretty fast healing too. Nice. Royal Jelly. It's been a while since I played a ship with a Royal Jelly, but pretty strong. Alright, so we do this. That'll put me at 1 health. I need to be very careful here to not accidentally kill another system. Bring them all back. Steve French. Who am I naming Steve French? The fireball guy or one of the berserkers? And who is Steve French, by the way? Heals at what, half the rate of a level 1 medbay? It's like 1.5 a second. I don't know what the medbay speed is, so I don't know how that compares to medbay. Alright, double reward at least. Alright, who am I renaming as Steve French? 1.5 HP a second is basically nanobot speed, okay. If you don't choose, I will choose for you. Steve French, you don't mind. Alright, Steve French. Is that a basketball player, or what? I wonder if I'm allowed to buy shields. I hope I am. I think we saw our store at the beginning of the sector, which is unlucky. 5. 1. Name one Berserker Conan. Okay, I'll get it after this one. Is this Conan the Barbarian or Conan O'Brien. Conan O'Brien! Steve French is not a basketball player. It's a very big cat. Conan the Librarian. And another one, Geralt. Okay. Is it Geralt or Geralt? I assume that's a Witcher reference there. Look for the ship. Okay, good. Hey, we finally get to actually fight humans. And by fight, I mean instantly murder. I did get a number of YouTube messages, a couple of messages about, you know, our loss in Void War, where they abducted our guy and they made all the comments about it, and ZachDog made a edited video showing all the stuff about it. It's pretty interesting to see people's, you know, feedback on that. Apparently it's really rare what happened. Oh, Berserker takes out giant alien spiders and gets us a missile. Nice. Apparently, because I don't even think it was just an enemy teleporting my guy. I think I even might have missed an enemy mind-controlled my guy that does the abduction. So I think it was an even crazier combo of things, but either way. Darn, we don't get any free slaves. I mean, I would never get slaves. I would free the slaves, because I'm totally a freeing slaves kind of person. Artyom. Alright, you can go beyond engines, because that's literally the only thing you can man, so. Erudition check passed, alright. Steve French is the fire guy. Yes, this guy is Steve French, who's apparently a very big cat. I don't know if that's a joke, or if it's like a cartoon character, if there's a rare Siberian tiger in some zoo somewhere named Steve French. I don't know. I don't know that reference. Yeah, I should probably take that deal since I can't use any drone parts yet. Ravage Genji. Are there stores at Ravage Genji? Well, Uncharted is the one sector in the game that could have 0, so there's stores. There he goes again, Mads. It's a mountain lion or a puma. I really don't know what this reference is. And apparently my ignorance is, I don't know, muting or something. It sounds like you know what you're talking about, and I don't have a clue. The Zoltan shield does look cool. It's got kind of a, I assume you did some sort of editing to make it have this kind of like interesting shimmer pattern to it. Looks pretty cool. What's up, ZachDog? Is this a Void War mod? Well played, sir. Well played. Alright. Is this a Void War mod? You know it. You know it. Looks cool. Bright colors and calming music. I know, right? It's so less grim dark for some reason. The only French you know is baguette. Preferably with garlic and butter toasted lightly. Okay. The shield you made in GIMP for it. Nice. Can't believe these subset games guys would steal such a good idea and try to make their own IP with it. Y'all are so funny. So funny. So funny, chat. Man, what's with all these Void War clones coming out, man? It's crazy. Frickin' Void War clones can't even come up with their own original idea. Alright, this is our first fight against a heal bay. So I think I might have to use Fireball to deal with the heal bay. I think this will work. These Void War clones are getting out of hand. Okay, so that did kill the heal bay. Does the fire do crew damage to the... Yeah, I think it does like passive crew damage in the room or something. Nice! Okay. Training's going up pretty fast. So I'll free up... Not you. Not you. So I could free up the Fireball guy. It's fine. Thought this was a Monster Train mod. Who knew? Yeah. We don't ever play original games anymore. We only play games that are mods of other games. That's all we do around here on this stream. Alright, I can send in my Berserker arm and Mantis. Last time we sent in Berserker, what does Mantis do? Okay. He got more consumables, but the Berserker got a free weapon. I don't know if it's random or if Berserker is the best option. I don't know. Alright, if I want to store, I probably gotta go up this way. What's up, Katasul? Happy Monday, my friend. Hope you're doing well. Alright, well, I haven't found any stores yet. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I should be guaranteed one. Although if there's one there, I'm gonna have to backtrack or something. Unless Ravage NG Sector has no stores, but I don't think RPG does that kind of thing. Ah, there it is. So now I'm gonna have to backtrack, because if I go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, I gotta dive, so... Let's see what's here. Ravage NG has at least one store and a maximum of 2. Okay. Alright, we got hacking, we got shields. Doesn't look like shields has any restrictions on it. Hacking looks normal. And there's a med bay. Okay. Done my shields. I'm gonna sell Pegasus for hacking. I could. Although honestly, if I get weapons, Pegasus would be a pretty nice support weapon, but who am I kidding? We're getting hacking. Okay. So now we have shields, Zoltan shield, and crazy OP boarding. So now we should just be ridiculously strong. Do I want to dive? I get 1 extra potential scrap gain. One, 2, 3, well, 2 extra, but then I gotta deal with a dive ship. I mean, we probably do decently against the dive ship. It's the ASB that's a pain. I am at full health. Let's go for a dive. Maybe I can get an engine upgrade before we do the dive ship. Alright. First jump of the dive was worth. Have some missiles. Mercy respirators. I already have that augment. I do. Does Oceanic Insignia count as emergency respirators? Okay, alright. They're not taking Miao Zedong's favorite thing. What is it called? Paid off. I can't even think of what it's called now. My brain is not awake yet on a Monday. Alright, free intruders. Free NG intruders. While fighting a 2-shield NG ship in Sector 2. That's kind of crazy. What I'm gonna do, I'm just gonna fireball their way. God, this ship is insane. 1, 2, 3, 4 power weapons, 4 power shields, free boarding. Mantis on a ship. At least the NG's... At least it's just NG boarders. This is a crazy ass ship. Insta got my shields down too. Holy crap. I'll accept some damage, I guess. Oops. Ah, shields came up just in time for mini beam to get wrecked. Alright, somehow we didn't take damage against this ridiculously overpowered ship in Sector 2. This event is crazy. Double defense drones, level 2 shields. This is Sector 2, right? Yeah. 4 power weapons, free boarders. What the hell was this event, man? I'll probably kill the dive ship fast anyway. Randor chats, can you tell me when you say what's up X, does that mean what's up? If so, does it require the answer saying how I've been doing or whatsoever? Yeah, if you say what's up, that's like, what's up? I guess there was a, I don't know if this is the reason why we type it this way, but in the 90s in the US, there was a Super Bowl commercial. I think it was a Budweiser commercial where the entire commercial is just a bunch of guys going, what's up, what up, what up? That's like the entire commercial. It's kind of an annoying commercial, but it was also kind of just in the consciousness of US people for a while, I would say. So I don't know if that's the reason why we put what's up or something. Probably should have hacked his weapons, but hopefully we don't take any damage. Okay, good. But yes, it's like saying, what's up? How are you doing? You're certainly allowed to answer the sky, because that's a joke that a lot of people answer with when you say, what's up, and they say, the sky. Here's different depending on which greeting you use, but you're not familiar with US and English habits. Okay. Isn't there a scary movie that does the whole what's up thing? Yeah, like I said, it was like a cultural thing for a while, so probably one of the scary movies, they always take whatever cultural thing is popular and, you know, make jokes with it. So they probably did that in a scary movie. From Scary Movie, it was originally, I'm pretty sure it was originally a Bud Light or Budweiser ad for Super Bowl one year. Pretty sure that was what it was originally from, and Scary Movie copied it. Alright, that was really funny to watch in the original language. What was the Scary Movie, or... Oh god, he's got mind control. I think I might actually need to... Okay, what happens if I send the fireball over? Will it mind control the fireball? No. Will it mind control the fire that comes from the fireball? No. I should probably burn the actual mind control then instead. Because if I mind control my guy, if one of my guys gets mind control, that could be really bad. Alright, well, I'm going to use hacking for the first time to counteract mind control, then is what I'm going to do. There we go. Has a lot of laser sounds. Okay. So this will be 2 more hull damage, then we can finish off with 1 more fireball. What was that sound? Why did I hear? Does that let us know their O2 tanks ran out or something? That was weird. Okay, 1 second here. Scary Movie is funny to watch in the original language. Okay. Okay. That was the sound of their O2 tanks activating. Oh. I thought their O2 tanks were already turned on when they started getting... I'm not sure. Oh, I can actually have you on shields over here, I think. Although I want Zelton on shields, what I want. If we get second one, we have, of course. Well, the main thing is we need to get RPGNerdos on the shields, but also 2 Zeltons on shield is what we want. So we don't actually have a lot of crew slots this ship. 4-person teleporter with no extra crew slots means I might not be able to fully man my ship. Which might be an issue. Poor fuel, not bad, not bad. Alright, I don't know if we'll ever get a training opportunity either, because any ship that starts with no shields, it takes so long to get shields, it's pretty rare you actually get a safe fight after you get shields. You train. But I guess I could get second shield here, and hope we do get a chance to train shields. The translations back then was really well done for Scary Movie. My Zoltan wants to pray. Interesting. So normally I don't do this. RPG has added a Zoltan blue option to the Great Eye event. What is this? The prayers have been heard. A heap of scrap appears out of nowhere in your cargo. Okay, pretty straightforward. Cool. Nice RPG. You added a blue option to Zoltan Grey Eye, and your RPGNerdos character did the praying. Cool. Wow, I just realized we don't even have subsystems on this ship. We literally only had piloting. It's crazy. I'll hold on to Mantis, but if I get an option, I gotta probably replace a Mantis with an NG. Figured that event was long overdue for some blue options. Nice, I like it. We do have Zoltan Shield bypass. Get wrecked. Alright, let me turn on speed hack because I don't want to wait for this. Speed hack. There it is, cheat engine. Do. Go. Alright. Well, I definitely don't need to buy heal bay since we have passive healing with the jelly. Zoltan prays, enemy ship explodes. Hey, Zoltan shield, blue option, stop the boarding. Nice. Okay, let's do this and this. Surprise! Oh my gosh, is that a level 3 heal bay? I don't know, I think it's gonna burn down though. I believe. I believe. Okay, apparently it doesn't passively burn down, but we did out damage through the heal bay. Okay. Alright, what is my goal here? 121 scrap. Bioweapon system, probably. Although I don't know if that's allowed. Maybe buy some subsystems would be cool. Must have been level 3 medbay. Fire does sabotage the system it's in while damaging hostile crew. It does. Okay, well. Yeah, that must have been level 3 because we never did get through. Oh, that guy's got some weapons I'd love to snag. Bee boo boo, bee boo boo. So yeah, I've been playing Elder Scrolls Online off stream for my free time, and I really like. There are things I like about Elder Scrolls Online, but the thing I dislike the most about it is the combat system is very spammy, and so I've been trying to find like auto clickers so I can like turn on an auto attack because attacking Elder Scrolls is just clicking, which you have to spam click to attack, which I think is like one of the worst choices for an MMO that you spend hours fighting. But I was trying to find an auto clicker that would like hold down left click, and I couldn't find one. I did find an auto clicker to like do one click a certain number of like interval seconds or something, but like I guess I'm just an enjoyer of auto-attacking MMOs, and Elder Scrolls Online requiring you to click for every attack for my arthritic hands, not ideal. Thank you for the 100 bits. Never play FTL ever again. Well, if that 100 bits was $100 million, I could maybe agree to that. But 100 bits will not cover that. Sadly. Just use any mouse macros soft, honestly. What does that mean? Any mouse macros soft. I have, you know, this vertical mouse that's not like a gamer mouse, that's like a, whatchamacallit, a programmable mouse or anything, so I don't think I can do that with this mouse. I'll buy some drone parts. Kind of expensive, but maybe there's a are there like software you can buy that like will be macros for your mouse? I did see maybe some Reddit posts about that. Maybe that's something I could do. Hi, YouTube. Penderdrill, this is Twitch. You're on Twitch. But I see what you're doing there. Hi, hello, YouTubes. Most gaming mice and some office mic have built macro capabilities in their driver. I don't know if SEENDA vertical mouse that I use for my hand health has that, but maybe I'll look into a macro thing or something. What's up, Bob Carnes? Thank you for the 2 months in a row of Prime Subbage. Appreciate that. Would just $1 million do to never play FTL again? Absolutely. But you don't have that to spare. Oh, it sucks. Man, if you had a spare $1 million, you probably have a spare more than $1 million, so that'd be nice for you. Hey, thank you for the 100 bits as well, Darksen. You want to keep your options open. Okay. Well, thanks for the $1 tip. Appreciate that. Alright, well, there's backup battery. Still no weapons. I'm wondering if we ever get a chance for weapons. Ooh, I could make it so that if I get mind controlled, I don't actually attack my own dudes. That's probably really good against my berserkers getting mind controlled, actually. MacroRecorder.com. Plenty to choose from for that? Okay. Record mouse and keyboard actions for infinite replay. But yes, can you hold the left mouse button? Because many auto-clickers say they have a hold left mouse button and none of them worked. So I'll have to, I don't know, maybe check that out. Because I got 2 different ones. What did I get? What are the ones that I downloaded? Let me go to downloads and I'll show you all. I got Speed Auto Clicker and Auto Clicker 3.1. Those are the ones that I downloaded. And one of them even has something that says hold, but apparently that's not for holding the left mouse button. That's like you hold a button for it to auto click. It's like, that's not what I want. Why does FTL look so weird? Well, the ship probably looks weird, Penderdrill, because I'm playing modded ships. I don't play regular FTL anymore. I only play ships created by our viewers. So this is a viewership day if you're not familiar with what we do on Mondays. So it looks weird because the ship is not a normal ship. Just record yourself clicking, then set it to be toggleable repeating thing that just goes on. Okay. That's a little involved, but I'll see if I can figure it out. You know it not much, but all I can do for now. Well, I appreciate the 100 bits, Darksan. Every little bit that people, you know, contribute to the stream helps me out a lot. Mainly it's going to rent because, you know, gotta live. Why no normal FTL? Because I'm scarred for life from all of the thousands of hours of FTL I've played. I'm burned out. That's the short answer. Burnout. I am completely burned out on FTL. Even playing viewerships is a little bit of a, you know, I gotta work through my burnout. I think I'm maxed on crew. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I am maxed. It's probably the naming. You should have looked into mouse macro rather than auto clicker. Okay. TLDR, the salt mine collapsed. Too much salt, too little miners. Will you ever play normal FTL ever again, or is it dead? I might. Although I make no promises, though. I make no promises. Currently, I'm trying to find a job that will free me from my shackles of playing FTL. Actually, it's more the shackles of making no money while streaming. So I'm in the process of trying to get a new job that may or may not allow me to continue streaming. I'm not sure yet. I'm just applying all over the place trying to get some sort of actual consistent income where I can afford to live in the apartment I live in. We're on a quest to get more salt miners. What? You burned out an FTL on the second day, but you still like to watch it, yeah. Go to university. I have a master's degree, Pendertrill, and I still can't pay rent. So if I wanted to go back to university, that would be a lot of money that I don't have. If I can't pay rent, I definitely can't pay to go get another degree, a third degree. If I could go back to school, I actually was planning on going back to school. I want to learn audio engineering. And that's part of the reason I'm trying to get a job that pays more so I can afford to go learn audio engineering. But, you know, I need money for that. Alright, well, we've had a couple of stopping their borders with our Zoltan Shield, so that's cool. What's my master's degree? Vocal performance. I learned how to sing. I have a bachelor's and master's degree in vocal performance, music. So that's why I sometimes sing on stream. Well guarded. Okay. Do you have any other game I like to play? Well, my favorite game to play on stream right now is Monster Train 2. And I play that on Wednesdays and Fridays. Void War is the other game I'm playing on stream. The other game I'm planning to eventually play on stream that I was gifted. Can I board this guy? Is this a fight or... This is a fight. Did I just get free scrap though? Confused. Expedition 33 is a game that I need to eventually play because Shogi gifted it and I still haven't played it yet. Thank you, Shogi, that gifted it. Really hope I can dodge here. That Mantis repair party.
God fucking damn it!
Ugh. Yeah, that sound you just heard, that's the reason I don't play more FTL. That's the sound I make when I play hard mode no pause FTL. That's past Rand. Okay. Get a master's degree in a STEM subject. I don't know what that is. Psychology, those degrees suck. Okay. You didn't know that that existed. What, you didn't know that music degrees existed? Okay. That seems like a weird thing. There's a degree in most subjects that are taught in any level of school. Science, music, art, psychology, underwater basket weaving. I don't know. I don't know if there's actually a degree for that. All right, there's weapon control finally. Past Rand, you missed him, huh? Okay. What's our system choices looking like? If I want mind control and cloaking, I can't get Clone Bay. I do want mind control and cloaking. What's Cerberus? 3 power, 3 damage missile. Charges in 17 seconds. Guaranteed breach chance. Has an accuracy modifier. It's actually pretty good boarding support. It's honestly pretty cheap too. I'm gonna buy it. I don't know if I'll keep it, but we have the option to kill auto scouts quicker with that at least. Okay, we have a lot of delay going on. I don't actually know how many jumps I have right now. I offer you a great solution. It's called Europe. Move to Europe? You know, that does actually sound kind of tempting. The problem is moving is a big commitment. And if I wanted to try to establish myself somewhere in Europe, that sounds cool, but challenging. And I'd need some sort of like family or place to stay as I try to reestablish. And I don't know, unless I had a significant other that I could go somewhere with, I doubt I'm just gonna move to a new place all on my own. That sounds, man, that sounds. There are places I'd actually like to visit and see, but like trying to establish yourself in a new culture, a new place, sounds kind of, I don't know if scary is the right word, but a big commitment. You can go to medical school with a music degree. You just need to write like a 505 on the MCAT. Well, I don't even know what that means, and I would never do medical school. I don't faint at the sight of blood, but people being in pain really bothers me. So if I was the person in charge of somebody not being in pain, I would have issues with that. So medical school is definitely not on the table for me. Come to Germany, we have cookies. I think I've had some of your German cookies. You have, or maybe I had some of that German chocolate. No. What was that chocolate I got that's popular over in Europe that somebody sent me at one point? I forget what it's called. something with an N or something. No, not Toblerone. It's like the equivalent to our Hershey's here that you all have over, and I don't know if it's in Germany, but I think it's in the UK. Recent studies in Warsaw Medical University almost rioted. Oh, students in Warsaw almost rioted because the price for retaking a class that you failed was increased to $1,000, and the regular studies are free. If I went to university, I could take college classes for free? In Warsaw? Is that true? You probably have to be like a citizen who was born there for that. That definitely wouldn't happen in the US. Yeah, Milka. That was the one, Milka. Swiss chocolate. No, it's Milka. You go to pharmacy school and you don't see people in pain. I don't want to go to pharmacy school. I'm a musician. I'm an entertainer. I'm somebody who likes to perform. I don't want to go to medical school. I appreciate the suggestion. But that's why I'm interested in audio engineering, things that are involved with making music and entertainment and performance. Those are the things I'm interested in. It's why I have a music degree. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. I want to be where the people dance. That's right. Like, I finished my training last week for being a bar trivia MC. So hopefully I'm going to get sub gigs for hosting Jeopardy Bar League trivia soon. I don't know when I'll have the first chance to do that, but I now am trained to do that. So, you know, entertain people in a bar with trivia. Become a nightlife DJ. DJ is something I've thought about. I'll be honest, DJing is not like my ideal way of entertainment. Because when you're a DJ, you're usually not the person singing or playing an instrument or making the music. You're playing the music and sometimes altering the music. And there's probably more to DJing that I don't know since I've never done it. But it's not the kind of performance that I'm interested in. Although being a sound engineer is probably closer to being a DJ since you're like controlling the sound and stuff, but I don't know. Sound engineering appeals to me. DJing, not as much. Reconciliation of our deals without war. True progress can only be bloodshed and blip, 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 blip. Damn it. Alright, get out of here, Jones, I guess. So, I could have Zoltan shield immunity, or I put the power in the weapons. Put them in the weapons for now, I guess. I could do that if I want to have a missile eventually available. Do I have backup battery? I do. I'll still buy some more power. Level 2 hacking. Let's get our weapons that we have available online. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. University education is usually much cheaper in Europe, doesn't cost you an arm and a leg. Money for food and rent is usually all people have to really take care of, in Germany at least. Well, when I went to school, I'll be honest, when I went to school, I didn't pay tuition for most of my schooling because I was a very good student and had scholarships. But a lot has changed since the early 2000s in the US, and I don't think it's as easy to get full rides, or probably not for a 45-year-old guy with 2 degrees to get full tuition. I doubt I could get scholarships like I got in the early 2000s. You have to go to engineering school to become a sound engineer? No, you go to, I think the degree is called audio engineering or studio engineering or commercial music or something like that. I looked into a number of different schools, and it's called like sound design or audio engineering or something like that. I'm not sure. I think audio engineer is the blanket term for like mixing engineer, recording engineer, music producer. There's like a lot of different things under the umbrella of audio engineering, I believe. I talked to a guy who teaches audio engineering who told me a little bit about it. It's maxed weapon training. That'd cut out some waiting for Cerberus rocket. True. Envoy does have the max weapon training. Didn't even think about that. Honestly, should probably get him the dodges because we're not firing that often. I think it's actually better if I do this. Also, if I move him out of weapons, I don't lose power in weapons, which is the annoying thing about having a Zoltan in weapons. Less worried about weapon training than other things. Gotta go, Halcyon. Group therapy time. $30 for an hour and a half. That sounds super cheap for therapy. I have a feeling it's like 5 times that in the US if you want to get therapy, but I've never gotten therapy, so I don't know, but that would just be my guess. Have a good therapy session, though. I could always become an industrial artist, tens of dollars to make there. I don't even know what an industrial artist is. Have to do a lot of math. In what? For engineering school? Probably. Audio engineering, I don't think there's a lot of math in audio engineering. Breaking down sounds into sine and cosine functions using a fast Fourier transformation. No, I'm pretty sure, even though, you know, sound waves do have, like, you know, sine and cosine function things, you usually don't have to do math to do that. As far as I know, because I do some audio engineering. Maybe there is some of that if you go to school for it. I'd be fine if I had to do it. I did trigonometry and calculus and stuff in high school. I have to relearn some of it, but I don't think there's actually much of that involved in the action of mixing music. I don't think there's a lot of math involved. Although there's probably counting, because there's, like, you know, a lot of music is timing. So, like, setting up click tracks and stuff. But I wouldn't call that math. But maybe it is. Maybe you could consider it math. I don't know. I don't consider it math. As a musician, I'm used to counting time all the time. You had both your degrees fully paid for by your employers. Definitely not normal, though. Yeah. Do a lot of physics. Yeah, the physics of acoustics is probably involved. Yeah. Industrial music, aka skinny puppy 9-inch nails, etc. No, that's not my genre, that's for sure. Destructive and constructive interference, yeah, that's definitely something in audio engineering. Even when I just run sound for my friend's band, the drummer is the guy who has all the sound equipment, and I like kind of run the knobs and meters to keep things balanced. We often will talk about, you know, well, this room is boomy, or we did a gig that was outside 2 weeks ago, and you know, when you're playing outside, sound just disappears. It just goes out into the ether because there's nothing to reflect the sound back. So you talk about the you know, the science of acoustics a lot when you do this kind of stuff, and I find that fascinating. So I would love to learn more about all that stuff. That's why I'd like to go to audio engineering school. Yeah, I do want to internalize this. How much does it cost to internalize any of this stuff? 10 and 15, pretty cheap. Okay. How much do you remember from my high school math? In your experience, if you go back to school after a few years, you don't start at zero, but you do sort of start over. Yeah, I would need some major review. Because, like, I can remember a lot of, like, you know, order of operations stuff, but if I had to do a lot of, like, was that irregular numbers and charting a cosine calculus stuff, I'd have to do a lot of review. I don't remember a lot of it. But again, I don't think a lot of that would be needed for like being a mixing engineer, which is the thing I'm interested in, is mixing music. Internalize augments. Let's do that one. I don't know if I'll ever actually get to school for it, because I don't know if I'll ever make enough money to be able to do all that, but I'm hoping one day I can. Alright, let's go see if we can find a construction flagship. Alright, fleet delay is good. They're never a distress beacon. It could be at this jump. Come on, look around. Darn. Alright, so I think I'm going to use weapons for the first time here. Although I am going to get his weapons down, because holy crap, those are some weapons. Yeah, for cloaking. Hey, we get cloaking for the first time. Holy crap, you made an entire background image for the cloaking image. Wow. Wow, I think that might be the first time I've seen you do that. That's crazy. Super cool, RPG. You made literally an entire new background for that. Serving missiles. Pretty nice missile sound. Technically, you never needed math to program software. You still had to go through all of it. There is what you need in practice and what you formally need according to the curriculum. True. It would probably depend on the school I went to, what math courses would be required. I did take college-level math, because there's some of that required for music as well. So hopefully whatever I had in the past would be, you know, I took my they call it your basics or your, I forget what the technical term is, but you can take your, when you go to college in the US, you have to take your, like, your English, your science, your math, your history, like some basics that you can take. A lot of people when they're figuring out their major will be like, oh, I'm gonna start and get my basics done first. So I have basic math credit. I don't know if that would be needed. Constructive and deconstructive interference. Cool. And you're showing me the formulas for those. I would be willing to bet you money that most... Well, actually, I don't know if I would be willing to bet you money. But I doubt a lot of people who are audio engineers know R1 minus R2 equals 0 plus N, whatever that symbol is. It's not pi. I'm guessing maybe people who design acoustic spaces need to know that stuff. People who are mixing music, I doubt know that kind of formulaic stuff. I could be wrong, but I doubt it. Maybe I'm wrong about that. Could be wrong about that. But I don't think the guy who mixes Jay-Z's music knows the formula for constructive and deconstructive interference, I would guess. Wanted to give the idea that the ship is opening a rift in space and bending it to avoid projectiles. Math 101? Actually, no. Because I didn't want to take math in college, the math I took was like really basic. It was called Math in Society, and it was more like math word problems. It was very simple. It was way easier than any of the like calculus and trigonometry stuff I did in high school. So I had harder math in high school than I had in college, but I had a music degree, so I didn't have to do very advanced math. So that symbol is lambda, which is in physics, is important for everything. You use that in pharmacy. Body, blood flow through your body's fluid dynamics. Okay, interesting. Train A leaves blah, blah, blah. Yeah, those things like, you know, Johnny has 12 green apples. If he cuts one in half and gives it to somebody, what's the fraction of apples that he still has? You know, very basic math word problems. And usually there weren't a lot of numbers in it. It was more like logic. From my memory, Math in Society was more logic problems and puzzles than it was actual math. So not real math. Or you could call it math, I guess, but it felt more like logic problems than it was actual math problems. I had enough math in high school, so I was not, you know, trying to get a bunch more extra math in college when I was studying music. Some point in your life, you wished you would have went to college, but insurance has treated you well enough. Yeah, going to college definitely has not made me make more money over the years. But that's mainly just because I've chosen to do things that I love rather than things that would make money. So, alright, this might give me a map. It gives me a map. So this lets me know where my potential... I should be guaranteed to get under construction flagship now, which is awesome. Need to go to work now. Alright, hope you have a great time at work, Penderdrill. Nice chatting with you. Music with all those thirds and fifths and sevenths. Those are all math. Yeah, those are intervals, but I don't think of that as math because that's like... Even though if you technically... C or A440... I don't know that I'd call that math. I'd call that acoustic physics. Or acoustics or something. Because 440 hertz vibrations per second is... what the tone A is tuned to. And then you can like multiply that by 2 and that's a pitch that's an octave higher. You can divide it by 2 and it's a pitch an octave lower. And I guess that's technically math, but that doesn't feel like math. That's just like acoustics to me. But I guess that is some math. But there are interesting things you can look up about music, things like different... The way that a piano is tuned is not actually perfectly tuned for like a note and a third above it to be perfectly in tune, because a piano is tuned such that whatever key you play in, it sounds close to being in tune. Look around, yay. So there's a lot of interesting stuff you can get into when you get into like true tuning versus like well-tempered tuning and all this stuff. So there is some cool stuff in music. Most practicing musicians don't interact with that kind of stuff in their day-to-day music making, but those things do exist. But I don't like use that in my day-to-day. Just like a day-to-day audio engineer mixing guy isn't going to use the acoustics of or the math of constructive and deconstructive interference for planning to balance levels on his gig that he's running sound for or something. You know, that stuff exists. It doesn't mean you're going to use it in your day-to-day work as a musician or whatever. Reach Bomb 2, one of the best boarding sport weapons in the game. Nice. Wonder if I'm looking for any new games to play. Not really. I'm looking for a job that pays more than streaming does right now. But if you have suggestions, I'll always look. I'm a gamer. So if you have a suggested game, I'll look into it. I won't promise I'll stream it anytime soon, but I do take game suggestions all the time. I think I'd rather have this than this, even though that's good. Because this can't get shot by defense drones, where this can. Oh, it does say... No, it says counter evasion, not counter defense drone. Science on stream, I know, right? The theory explaining harmonics and interferences and many other things is pure math. Is it pure math? There's a lot of math in it. I feel like there's some physics in that too. Because it's a wave. Is waves math? Waves is... There is math in it, but I think like science of like light waves is... What would you call that? You'd call that physics, right? I don't know. I'm not exactly sure what school of science that is technically. Well, with there being an entirely different music scale, one that was used in the music for Undertale. Yeah, there might be. There are many different types of music scales, Eagle's Eye. For the non-musician, you may not realize, but like the scale that most pop music is written in would be called a major or minor. Those are like the two main scales. But there are many different scales. There are scales using smaller intervals than the half steps or semitones or whatever you want to call them in like Indian and Eastern music. There's lots of different types of scales, and a lot of classical composers would use those scales to get like a, you know, foreign sounding sound. A lot of Eastern music uses very different scales than Western music uses generally. Okay, hacking my weapons, that sucks actually. There are even fish scales, true. But that's something different. I wouldn't call that music. Although another random YouTube video I watched is talking about there's like this big scientific debate going on about what is a fish. Has anybody been following this? There's a new YouTuber I've been watching who's a science guy, and there's this whole debate in the scientific community about what is a fish. It's really funny and interesting. Because trying to define what a fish is apparently a big debate right now. And like humans could be classified as a fish if you use certain definitions of what a fish actually is. It's really interesting. There was that one game. It was almost like FTL. Oh god, more of those jokes, huh? When you did your bachelor's degree, you had to take a math prep course because you didn't have a high school degree. There was stuff required that you'd never even heard of, like logarithms. Yeah, that's. I think I did some of that. Like maybe my whatever I said earlier, math class in high school I took. What is that advanced math called again? I forget what it's called. My brain is not working anymore. You mean most music is in the classic A, B, C, D, E, F, G 7-note scale with 5 sharps and minors. You've heard of an 8-note scale with a number of flat sharps. Are you a musician, Eagle's Eye? Because it feels like you're using words that are musical words, but you're not quite using them in the right way. Because I don't quite understand what you're saying. Most like Western scales, we actually call. Yeah, there's 7 distinct notes, but usually you call it an 8-note scale because the scale is completed with the octave. So C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C is the scale, which is an 8-note scale. You said a number of flat sharps. Are you saying a note that has been both flatted and sharped? That's not normally something that's done in any type of music I know of. So just your terminology makes me not quite understand what you're trying to say. There are scales that, I mean, if you want to get technical, there's Mixolydian, Lydian, Phrygian. Those are different scales types using our Western interval scales. But then there are Eastern scales that use smaller intervals, if that's what you're talking about. I don't know if what you're saying. I don't know that I understand what you're trying to say. You looked over your Steam library. You found following things that might be suitable. Rogue Tower, played that one. I streamed it. It's a good game. Dome Keeper, haven't played that one. Desolate Delivery, haven't heard of that one. Vampire Survivors, played that one. It's pretty good. Rotato, I streamed some of that. Planet Base, I don't think I played that. Hades, I've heard of, never played it. It's great. I've heard it's one of the best all-time roguelikes. Hollow Knight, streamed that. I think I 90-something% of that. Lost Number, didn't play that. Darkest Dungeon, streamed that. Don't Starve, I played that. Cult of Lamb, haven't played that. Pretty good suggestions. I'm probably not going to stream any of those anytime soon. But a lot of good games you mentioned, though. I really do need to play Hades, but I'm just not a big action gamer. Bullet hell and action type games. D flat and C sharp are the same note. Yes. You meant 5 black keys on the keyboard of a piano and 7 white keys. Right. Are you talking about pentatonic scales? Because we play the 5 black keys, that's called a pentatonic scale. Is that what you're talking about? And yeah, there's lots of music that use pentatonic scales. That's where the Pentatonics, I think, got their name, is you know, a pentatonic scale. And a lot of composers, I think Debussy used pentatonic scales to try to sound like Chinese sounding music. Yeah, I played a number of those games that you listed. Rogue Tower I actually streamed for a while. That was a pretty fun one. I feel like the replayability on Rogue Tower kind of ran out after a while. But that was a pretty fun one for a while. You were misunderstanding. In specifically Undertale, a lot of different quarter tones were used, so the music, if played on a regular piano, doesn't quite match up. Quarter tones. So, yeah, that's one of the things I was talking about where tuning gets differently, can be done differently. When a tuner tunes a piano, it's tuning a piano such that the half steps and whole steps will be in tune, close to in tune, no matter which key you're playing in. But you can tune things differently, and it sounds like Undertale, if they used quarter tones, was doing a tuning that's different than you would use on a standard piano. And yeah, that's definitely a thing. But again, a lot of times people who are not musicians, they hear that, they'll use terms that they don't quite understand when describing it. And quarter tones are not something that's used generally in Western music. But if Undertale uses that, it probably makes for some interesting, weird sounds that you're not used to hearing if you listen to a lot of, you know, pop and classical music in the Western world. So I don't ever do music that uses quarter tones. But I think when I was talking about Indian music using different types of things, I think they use like bent notes and closer, smaller intervals. That probably includes quarter tones, which is really interesting and cool. A lot of Western artists have experimented using like some of the instruments that's in like Indian music to like get that sound. How many jumps do we have? 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. But I've never played Undertale. I've listened to some of Undertale's music. But I haven't heard anything, I think, that uses quarter tones. But I haven't listened specifically to try to recognize that either, so. When I was doing my training last week for Jeopardy Bar League, one of the teams there were some gamers there, and they were talking about the game they most got into was, there's like a sequel to Undertale, but it's not really a sequel, and it's being released in episodes or something. What is that called? I had 2 different people talk about it. Apparently it's really popular. I never played Undertale, so I don't remember the name of it. But that's what they were talking about, the game they're really into. Surely we have some Undertale enjoyers in chat who can tell me what I'm trying to think of. Undertale sequel. What is it? Deltarune. That's the one they're talking about. Deltarune. Thank you, Anklebane. Yeah. That's apparently really popular for a lot of folks. I guess I can train weapons by auto-firing a laser. Which apparently has a bunch of the same characters, but it's a completely different story or something. The guy who was training me in Jeopardy Bar League trivia hosting, he's really into it, so he was like kind of telling me about it. Well, all of my Brotato playthrough is on YouTube if you want to check it out, Darksan. All you got to do is probably look up on YouTube Rand Brotato, and I have a playlist for every game I've ever played on stream, starting like 6 years ago or so, I think. So if you want to see me play Brotato, it's definitely available. Brotato's great. I really enjoyed playing that. There's only so much I can play a bullet hell game like over and over and over, though, to be honest. It's fun, but like replayability on those type of games for me aren't as great as like strategic games like this. Like FTL, even though I whine about how many hours I have in the game, I still play it because it's a gameplay loop that I find more interesting than dodge shots while shooting your shots. Well, that's a gross oversimplification of games like Brotato, but you know. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. It's funny, you are a musician, but you are a percussionist. You're great with things like syncopation and intrinsic difficult rhythms, but a drum doesn't follow a musical scale. True. I didn't realize you were a percussionist, though, but if you ever do anything like any of the keyboard instruments like xylophone, bells, even chimes probably have to be tuned in a certain way. So, sorry if I was condescending when you were talking about semitones and all that stuff. I have a lot of people that will ask me music questions, and when you answer somebody, you want to have context for what knowledge they already have, and so I often assume they don't have, you know, a master's degree in music. So hopefully I wasn't talking down to you or anything like that. Okay, we can finish him off with a medium laser here. You did use chimes, xylophone, and marimbas? Yeah. Piano is a personal favorite, but you never was good at reading sheet music. You just memorized the music. Huh. Yeah, there's a lot of pop musicians do that. The band that I do sound for, I'm not sure how many of them actually read music. I know the singer doesn't because she's in my Christmas caroling group. She kind of can read music, but not really. She learns by listening. That's what a lot of pop musicians do. I think the bass guitarist maybe doesn't read music, and maybe the drummer doesn't, but maybe they do. I don't know. I actually know their formal background training. You're gonna have to check out RimWorld again. They added spaceships. Ah, interesting. You can sing, but you somehow missed most musical theory in your life, huh? No offense was taken. Good. I'm glad. Brotato was a good enough of a time for you to get all the achievements on it, but you likely won't go back to it unless they have a big content update. Yeah. Yeah, I did a lot of Brotato off stream for fun because I found it very fun. And I got a bunch of, like, you know, multiple difficulty wins on different characters, but then it gets so hard, or you have to get so lucky to get the build to make a character work that I just kind of, you know, gave up. Like, okay, I had my fun. Move on to the next game. What's up, Nietzsche? Happy Monday, my friend. Okay, this guy's got double ions. And level 3 cloaking, apparently. Wow, it's crazy to see the asteroids disappear when you cloak. It feels like the entire fight just stops for a bit. That's kind of crazy. But I like talking about this stuff. Like, what is it called? There's something. I have a friend, a singer friend, who is even more of a music nerd than I am. Like, he'll just do Facebook posts where he's talking about, look at these intervals when you play a major scale. It's interesting how these intervals between the 6th and the 5th mirror the intervals between the 2nd and the 3rd. And he'll just do like Facebook videos while he'll do that. He'll like play. I found this interesting chord progression when playing through the, you know, intro to Family Matters. You know, so he'll like do a lot of stuff, and I find his stuff interesting. And he'll talk about stuff like, you know, true tuning, like, here, listen to this third, bum bum, but if you play this slightly differently tuned, it'll be in true tuning rather than well-tempered tuning, bum bum. Like, very small changes in the frequency of an interval, and some musicians will just play with that stuff. There's a famous YouTube British artist, what's his name? Little Blue, be my shelter. I have that song in my playlist. I forget his name, but he's like considered this musical savant who plays with true tuning and stuff like that. So I find that stuff interesting. But I'm not an expert on that stuff, but I will watch videos talk about that kind of stuff. You finished Kingdom Come Deliverance 2. It took 130 hours. That game is as long as Baldur's Gate 3, huh? Nice. Baldur's Gate 2? Isn't it Baldur's Gate 2 or is it 3? It is 3, isn't it? I can't remember. Okay, so what do I want to use for the boss fight? What's the difference between G sharp major and A flat major? If you're talking about the key signature, there's nothing different about the notes. They are just written differently. And when you're a musician, usually when you're reading music, the fewer the number of accidentals, which is what a sharp or a flat is called, those are accidentals. The fewer the number of those, usually it's easier to read. So A flat major is easier to read than G sharp major because A flat major has, I think, 4 flats. I think that's right. And G sharp major has like 6 sharps or something. I can't remember off the top of my head. But usually, like, if you ever play in C sharp major or C flat major, pianists hate it because it's 7 flats or 7 sharps, which is, I think, the most sharps or flats you have in any normal thing. Although maybe if you did some weird B sharp major, you could have more sharps than that. But nobody writes music that way, really. So, yeah, 7 sharps or 7 flats is what C sharp flat or C sharp major or C flat major would be, and hardly anybody writes in those keys because musicians wouldn't want to play in those keys. So that's the main difference. The difference is where you start. No, A flat and G sharp are the same note. So if you were playing a key in A flat major, it'd be the same as playing a key and playing a song in G sharp major. But nobody writes music in G sharp major because I don't know how many sharps that is. I don't think that's a normal key signature that anybody uses. I'm gonna sell this. I'm gonna buy nothing, actually. I'm just gonna swap the breach for the whole beam for when this is a crew killing type of build. So do I have any system slots? I don't, except for subsystems. Are you selling any subsystems? You're not. Okay. What sector are we in? We're in sector 5. There's another store though. Let's buy the all 3 fuel. I already have this. Don't I have soothing anesthetics internalized? Shouldn't I not be able to buy them if they're internalized? Huh. That's weird. So I could double up on soothing anesthetics, which would do nothing. Adding a second soothing anesthetics won't do anything. Okay, that's what I figured. Huh. They're not selling any subsystems. Black battle cannon, 2 power for 6 shots. 17 seconds. Do I want that over like the whole beam I got for free? Honestly, flat battle cannon plus whole beam will probably be my best damage there. Okay. But yeah, music theory is always something I really enjoyed, so like talking about these weird key signatures and things is always interesting to me. Even if 90% of chat might be like not understanding what even a flat or a sharp is, which is understandable. If you're not a, active musician, you won't be familiar with the terminology for written sheet music. Reach the weapons, why not? It's like I wouldn't know a lot of the terminology people are talking about. Web, HTML, software programming or something. I don't know. Charted Nebula. Yeah, this could be very nice. I didn't buy the fuel at that second store. That was a mistake. I don't even think I care about them catching up here. There's Charted Nebula. I just see everything. It's not the one that gets the half jumps every time, though. Black one, if I had more weapon slots. Is this sector 6? I have a whole other sector to go through, so let's buy all the fuel. Still no subsystems for sale. RPG, did you make it so that you can't get subsystems, or Is there some weird priority with systems? Because I have not seen sensors or doors the entire run. Yeah, I bought the fuel, thank you. Kind of wonder if the next sector will be a slug nebula that will be nice for shield elitization. Yeah, can't get any elitization in this sector, can I? No, okay. I always forget about thinking about the elitization thing. The quest up there, store over there, we should be able to get all that stuff. Okay, keep trying to stop them. The that Zoltan Blue option. It's worked a couple times. Can't get doors nor sensors on this ship. Okay. Darn. I like doors and sensors, even if I don't upgrade them as often as I should. They're the unappreciated systems of FTL. Alright, he's gonna run. I'll hack his piloting. Doing fine on a consumable, shouldn't run out anytime soon. Okay, you never get to leave, sir. 36 missiles, not running out of those anytime soon, it's very nice. Oh. So some of the other applications I filled out over the weekend, when I went to Guitar Center to chat with the people there and find out about applying there, one of the guys I talked to at Guitar Center told me about a store that some of the dudes that used to work at Guitar Center opened, and it's actually really close to me. It's like called, like, I don't know, Tone Guitars or something. So I'm not a guitar guy, but I have worked at a couple different music stores. So I went and I talked to them and then emailed them to see about applying for working at a guitar store. I don't know, man. I'm just kind of throwing out any applications I can lately for anything that'll be close to my interest of music and audio equipment. Telling you, man, trying to find a job sucks. Applying for jobs sucks. I don't think I've spent this much time applying to different places before. But I'm being kind of pickier about what jobs I apply for is probably the reason. I'm not going to work at Walmart again, or I refuse to. I'm really trying to avoid doing Uber and Lyft driving because the wear and tear on your car is just so not worth it. So the job hunt is not fun. I think Madman, have you started on your job hunt yet, or are you still slowly working towards that, not doing it yet? Because I think you had said you're going to be starting a job hunt at some point. Okay, was that the sound of their O2 tank turning on again? Because I feel like that sound doesn't happen every time. I swear it doesn't happen every single time. Well, that was a frickin' triple ion hit. Are you effing kidding me, game? Please hit, please hit, please hit. Good. No missiles for you. Okay, he's not running. Lots of places just put all their skeletons on a new person. What? Lots of places put all their skeletons on new person. I'm not sure what that means. Is that like they make the new guy do all the hard work? Is that what that means? I've never heard that phrase before. Mamnon, you just updated your resume, but you didn't actually start sending applications yet? You're probably going to start soon. Everything's rapidly moving to inclusion on your current job. Okay. Well, I hope your job search goes well. It sounds like you probably, if you have a resume that you're updating, that you might have a more specific, like, focus of what kind of jobs you'll apply for. I mean, work you are tested. I mean, work you are tested. Flak battle cannon, kind of slow. Let's breach that. Hopefully, yeah. Yeah, I'm not sure what that means, Dark Sand. Sorry. I'm hoping a lot of the applications I filled out, they're just being reviewed and it's taking a long time because I just haven't heard back from a lot of the places I've applied for. You spelled it wrong. Okay. Okay. Fighting trained Mantis. I mean, it'd be lovely, but this guy's actually training on weapons slowly. Kind of wish this ship had a little more crew slots. You hope I'll get a success as well? I appreciate that. I appreciate it. It'd be nice if I got something that's like part-time, that's decent pay, that I could still stream while I'm doing. And I feel like there are a few possibilities with that, but I just have to make sure, even though I'm being kind of picky, that I'm not being so picky that I have to like borrow money from my parents over and over again. Although I think my parents might be sending me money again because I kind of do need it. Let's see here. I want to keep the breach. I think I'm going to do this because I can kill shields with my borders, and then the whole beam I think will actually kill auto scouts better, and auto scouts are the ones we really need to kill. Okay, there we go. Half power jump. What's up, Big Duck Mail? Happy Monday. Current job not only is falling apart, but also has started getting on your nerves with clients being absolute morons. You hate know-it-alls, huh? What does a know-it-all mean to you? Is it somebody who pretends like they know what they're talking about and really don't? Or is it somebody who's like really conceited and talks down to you or something? Okay, Zoltan Shield protects us. I kind of feel like everybody has like a different definition of what like a know-it-all or sarcastic or condescending is. Everybody has like their own separate definition of what that is. Ooh, this got a shield. This is gonna keep spawning, isn't he? Oh, there we go. We got him. Double breach bomb. Interesting. When you go into new workplace, you are handled a lot of stuff, but nobody else wants to do. Ah, that's what your experience is in IT. Yeah, yeah, I could see that. Depends on the, probably depends on the job and the people you work with. You get like the grunt work or the crap jobs that everyone else tries to avoid when you're the new guy. Know-it-all, somebody likes to turn to a professional advertising agency only to then limit the topics for social media content in such a way that can't draw in any subscribers, and they blame it all on the agency. They clearly know better which topics to make content on. Why the hell do they require us then? Okay. Yeah, that sounds really annoying. Basically a really high maintenance client who is difficult to work with. Yeah, that sounds like a pain in the arse to deal with for sure. Right, come on in. The dying's fine. You can die in this room, you can die in that one. You could go with this, or you could go with that. Or you could go with us. Alright, anything I can... I don't think there's any elitization in this sector. You want to be one of the shadow-looking things. They are called Berserkers, and you absolutely can. Give me 1 second, and I'll get you after this fight if I don't forget. Or may, I guess. You may. If I was to use correct English, yes, you may be one of my Berserkers. Okay, what sells for the least? 37, 30, 27, and 40. Okay. Worst weapon sells for the least. How fitting. Alright, so you want to be one of these guys. Turbo Jet. Just like voting. They turn their entire channel into ad-filled crap hole with 99% of the content being ads and then wonder why nobody wants to read it. It's like YouTube trying to continuously block ad blocker, and so they just keep adding more ads, so we keep putting more ad blocker or different ad blockers on because, or Facebook I think is the worst. As I'm scrolling through Facebook, every other post is an ad, so I just keep reporting every ad because I'm like, repetitive, stupid, overbearing. This is terrible, and I do not like this. I say as a content creator who probably has ads on their stream, but you know, I try to not to have them overflow the content, which seems to be the case for a lot of internet content now, is just overflowing ads. But that's probably also part of the reason why I can't afford rent, because I'm not selling out hard enough, I guess. Reason you bailed on Facebook a long time ago, yeah. I should do what the pro streamers do and have as many ads as long as possible over and over to force everybody to subscribe so that they don't have all the ads all the time. I would be so rich. Probably not, actually. Alright, let me do this. I don't think I want a second breach. I'm going to internalize that oceanic thing, I guess. Internalize that guy. Okay. It would be flawless execution, yes. Oh wait, no, you're talking about the bank heist. Alright, 400 scrap. What can I even do with 400 scrap? Force shield and some value points, I guess. How many jumps do we have? 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Probably something like that. Honestly, if I were trying to be a, you know, successful content creator, I really should look into doing the whole sponsored stream thing. I can't bring myself to do it. It feels so... Ugh. It feels so slimy to, like, be... Here, I want you to buy this product that I would never use. Support my channel by using code something at checkout. I don't like it. I don't drink energy drinks, but you should so that I can make money. It just, I know that's the way you are successful on content creation, but maybe that's the reason I'll never be successful on content creation, because you have to do full sellout mode. Looking at sponsors I actually like. Yeah, I don't even know how I'd even approach that, to be honest. I don't know that I've ever had enough viewers to be attractive to sponsors, but you know, maybe I'm too lazy. I don't know. I don't even know how you do that. There's probably like content creator emails that you're supposed to send out or something like that. It just, even looking into it feels like a sellout to me, when I know it's just what you do as a content creator. It's just, that's not what I've ever wanted my content creation to be. Everyone's sending you to do everything everywhere today. I know, right? Hey, you should play this game. Hey, you should get these sponsors. Hey, you should stream this game. I should. Raid Shadow Legends. I know, right? Raid Shadow Legends. Phrase it like this: I don't personally like energy drinks, but if I did, I would be this, and it's because they source their ingredients from this. Yeah. Yeah, that's to me, that's what a sellout is. To me, a sellout is somebody who sells something that they don't actually believe in. And even if I did find something that I was like, I use this thing, I would still feel like a sellout trying to get other people to use that thing. I don't know why. I don't know why I feel that way, but... Taking a sponsor for something you disagree with is dumb, but you gotta make a living. I know. Well, and that's why I'm trying to find non-streaming sources of income, so. Alright, beautiful. The best augment in this mod. Superior navigation system. Beautiful. Is there anything I can elitize in Zoltan sector? What am I doing here? Rebel for weapons. Slugs for shields. Mantis for that. Okay, no, I can't elitize anything there. Okay. This video is not sponsored by Raid Shadow Legends. No, it isn't. It is sponsored by Twitch viewers like you. I feel like I'm a public radio station. This programming is sponsored by viewers like you. And Rand's wallet, which is slowly running out of green stuff.
You should have zero.
Make sure to donate to continue this content you love and support your local streamers. Viewers like you. Alright, we're gonna kill shields. We'll be able to use Hull Beam. There's no elitization in Zoltan sector. It's medbay that's for that. Okay, cool. I don't know why I hacked this piloting. I didn't need to. Apparently, the radio station, the local radio station I listen to, is called KXT. It's where a lot of the tracks before the stream I learn about them because I really like this. It's a public radio station that plays popular music that has no commercials, and so they're like crowd-funded, but they were also funded by whatever the National Radio Endowment for the Arts is, which is apparently going away. So they're now having to try to get more private funding because whatever government funding public radio stations were receiving for years and years and years is now going away for some reason. It's like, well, that sucks. Yeah, I know. Yay for government cuts. It's probably needed. I'm sure it's probably because government reasons, like the deficits in trillions or something. But all I know is my favorite radio station doesn't have money, so it's not a great time. That kind of sucks.
Why? He dodged every fucking shot. Oh, I hate this fucking game.
Another thing I have is a surprise is hidden bioplating. What does bioplating do again? Is that a chance to resist? Oh, is that like slug repair gel and repair arm maybe? I forget what bioplating is. Wow, there's all the stores. Is there anything I'd want from a store? I mean, pre-igniter, I guess. Would I even take pre-igniter? Yeah, I would take pre-igniter. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Okay. It's slug gel, fire suppression, and the repair arm. Okay, okay. Cool. Whoa, we got Crimson Guard guys. Here's the guys that fight well by themselves, huh? Man, I really wish I had more crew slots. I'm not gonna replace any of my crew though. It doesn't feel like an efficient use of my scrap. Sure, have some fuel. Beautiful. Power. Value point, value. Yeah. Like the super wealthy corporations need to pay less tax than they do right now. Well, I don't want to get into any political thing. Even when I started talking about the radio stations losing their federal funding, I was like, this is probably going to cause somebody to be pissed about something. I don't want to make any judgment calls about any government spending or anything like that. But I am sad that the radio station I like is getting less funding. What is Lance Beam? 2 power, 1 damage. I don't think it's better than Hull Beam. Beam length of 204. How does that compare to Hull Beam? Oh, it's double the length of a Hull Beam. Interesting. So it's guaranteed stun. You know what? That's kind of interesting. Let's use it because it's different. We'll go flak, battle cannon, plus the lance beam. Have we used this lance beam before? I don't know if we have. But double the length of the whole beam could be pretty good. Crimson Guard recently underwent a rework that makes them better, though it's not in this particular ship mod yet. Okay. I'll have to try them out at some point. I don't think I've used my mind control a single time this run. Let's actually do that. A lot of exploding Zoltans there.
Frickin' Neo over here. Frickin' Neo.
Hopefully they get through doors quickly. I don't want the missile to fire. Beautiful. Engine training. I have RPGNerdos there. I could put RPG on weapons and put this guy on engines. Again, I don't love putting Zoltan on weapons, but let's do it. Wait. Yeah, let's get rid of Artyom. Artyom! Every time I see the name Artyom in this game, I think of Metro Last Light. I'm pretty sure that's the name of the main character in that game. Artyom! Okay. Heal. Yeah, Metro games. Is that the name of the main character in all the Metro games? I only played Last Light, I think. Lance beam I haven't used, though I've seen a couple other beams from Zoltan series of high-grade beam weapons. Okay. You played the first 2 Metro games, you still have to play the 3rd. Hey, our Zoltan wants to pray and gets a nanite bomb. What the hell's that? The heal bomb. Bless your boarders with this bomb before they board. Never worry about them dying. Allied crew struck with a bomb will recover 150 HP over 45 seconds. That's pretty cool. We have free healing already, so we don't need that, but that's pretty interesting. We're at the end of the 7th sector, so I don't need any more fuel. Whoa, what was that sound? Oh, he's gay. He has a Crimson Guard guy. Oh gosh. I forget that the enemy can sometimes get your special crew. Isn't it only like the Crimson Guard? No, I think we've actually seen like these fireball dudes on enemy crew too. I know, lightsaber go pew pew pew. That's great sound. Gotta love that. So I think Mr. Keese and Eagle's Eye are both here today. So you both have a new ship for me to play. I don't know if you all want a Rochambeau or what, but we need to figure out which of your ships I'm playing next after this one, just so y'all know. You have to work in 2 hours. Okay. I know I didn't do an Eagle's Eye ship last week, so I was leaning towards doing yours first, but I'll see if Mr. Keese has anything particular. With the Crimson Guard, the best way to beat them is to make sure only one crew of yours is fighting them at once and that the others aren't targeting them. Gotcha. The more crew targeting them, the more damage they do or something like that, or the faster they do their lightsaber ability or something like that. Okay, we're not going to bonus sector from Oceanic Insignia. So I can jump to anywhere. Sword of Still Nanite's probably not that useful. I do want to get to the base before the boss for elitization on... Do I even care about boarding elitization? You know what? I might want to have the nanite instead of the breach bomb for the boss fight. So that would let me insta-board and keep my guys healthy. Probably will do that. So, yeah, I'm definitely going to elitize boarding. I think that's what I'm going to do anyway. pressing R. No, I'm not. I'm pressing E. Okay. Plenty of missiles. No dodge. That's great. Forward there. Crimson Guard are built to destroy groups, yeah. In a way that they get more effective the more enemies that target them. Gotcha. I want to give the lance a try here. Ooh, that's one long beam, giggity, that's what she said. So this thing is a really long beam that stuns, basically. Okay. I do like green beams. Green beams look cool. Not to be confused with green beans that don't taste very good. Although maybe some people like green beans. I always hated green beans because my mom made me eat green beans as a kid. And she like got the canned green beans and boiled them. And I feel like that's literally the worst way you could make green beans. Is take canned green beans and then put no seasoning on them and then just boil them in a pot. Ugh, that's like food war crimes, yeah. My mom, as much as I love her, was not a very good cook. Having eaten my brother's food for years now, and compare that to what I ate as a kid from my mom, well, I'm learning that my mom's skills were definitely not in the kitchen. Cooking was not her strong suit. I don't know that she knew how to make things with seasoning. Okay, human, thanks for the venting. You despise green beans for the exact same reason. Your parents forced you to eat them, and you literally puked at the dinner table, and you've hated them all your life. That's horrendous, yeah. You blame your parents for your distaste of vegetables till you moved out, boiled frozen broccoli, and similar taste of green beans, yeah. Like, my brother, like, anytime he makes any type of vegetables, just frickin' season them. Maybe a lot of people who make food for their kids don't have enough time, but I don't think it takes that much time to put salt and pepper on some broccoli or some asparagus or some Brussels sprouts or something. Like, if my parents did that as a kid, maybe I wouldn't have hated green stuff so much. You feel like seasoning goes against Southern Baptist sensibilities? You might be right, because that's definitely the camp my family was in. Maybe that was the reason. Seasoning is against their religion. I don't know. Your mom was a pretty good cook, but you have lots of brothers and sisters, so sometimes there's lentil stew for a couple weeks. You can't eat lentils to this day. Yeah, I'm sure I'm probably not giving my parents enough credit too, because I mean, my mom did have to work a job part of my childhood. But I don't remember her cooking good food even when she was a stay-at-home mom and my dad was the one, you know, working. So, I don't know. Maybe I'm not giving my mom enough credit. I don't know. Spaghetti's your struggle meal that you can't eat to this day for that reason. Oh man, that's disappointing because spaghetti's just such a great staple of Italian food. Like broccoli and green beans were the two things my mom would make, and I can kind of okay stand broccoli now, and especially if it's seasoned well, I'm fine with it. But I haven't had that much good broccoli. But green beans were the ones that she kind of ruined for me because it's just ugh. Ugh. And anytime I even think of green beans, I think of slimy, mushy, unseasoned grossness. That's just what I think of when I think of green beans. You prefer lasagna? It's a lot more difficult to make well than spaghetti. Pasta itself is fine, but just straight up spaghetti bolognese is no-no. Carbonara on the other hand is great. I haven't had a lot of the different well-done versions of the, I think that's the sauce that makes it a bolognese or a carbonara that you're describing, because I've made a carbonara once and it wasn't very good. But, you know, I made it, and I'd never made it before, and I was using an internet recipe, so probably would have been fine if I was better at it, but like, I don't know that I've ever had a good bolognese sauce or anything like that. Okay, so how am I going to do this? I haven't been using the fireball that much. I can hack the bombs and then hack the enemy missiles and then firebomb the missiles. I probably want to do that. And I do want to have this so I can keep my guys healthy. Firebomb, I'm not sure if it'll completely kill the missiles, but we're just doing normal boarding strats. Your mom's signature dish was a lasagna. You've tried to make it so many times, but yours is trash compared to your mom's. You go back home to get a whole tray to yourself sometimes. Nice. That's awesome. Yeah, well, one of the favorite things that my brother does is, and I do it sometimes, but I'm lazy and don't cook that much, is that he just, for almost every meal, he'll grill asparagus, and it's just so tasty. It's just good grilled asparagus is so good. And he makes it really well, and almost every meal that I go there, he'll make grilled asparagus, and I love it. It's great. Okay, didn't hack my hacking or my boarding, so we should be fine here, I think, to do OP crew kill. Okay, yeah, I was gonna say 0 dodges, but he did hack my engines, I guess. Picturing Nietzsche as a very fat orange cat that hates Mondays and normal? What is normal? I know that's at least I think that's a Garfield reference you're making, but I've never heard the term normal, I don't think. Normal was a female cat in Garfield. I don't think I ever knew that cat's name. Okay, today I learned. Normal. That doesn't even sound like a name, but okay. What's your favorite color? Light purple. What's your name? Normal. That's a name? Okay. Sorry, anybody whose name is Normal. Doesn't sound like a real name to me. Does Nanite Bomb work on enemy crew? No, it should heal only my own crew. Alright, almost there. I was gonna say, this should have been a damageless boss fight, but I think he must have triple hit his ion and triple hit his laser one time, which is probably from the dodge hack that he did. Okay. Nice, they get through even max level doors really quickly. That's nice. Kind of beam sweat can we get with this crazy long beam? Pretty good one. 2, 3, 4, 5. It's only 6. There's probably more than 6 damage beam swipe here somewhere. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Maybe I can get 7 over here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, I think that's the best one I got. Pretty good. Pretty good. Nermal. What a name. Nermal. Sounds like somebody mispronouncing normal or something. I wonder how the guy who came up with Garfield came up with the name Nermal. Okay, so we'll go here, then Stronghold, then back to do phase 2. Or we'll farm some scrap. So do some score farming. Might be able to kill missiles phase 3 before they fire, huh? Yay, an NG! But I need my engine training. Sorry, NG. Sorry I had to vent you. I had to. I didn't have a choice. Does the FTL no-pause streakers frown upon the forbidden beam tech? If you mean cheeky swipes, not as far as I know of. But I never used them because they're difficult to do. Cheeky swipes require you to, I think, be, if not pixel perfect, close to pixel perfect with the start. And doing that on no pause, I think, is pretty challenging. But maybe there's some streamers who have done that. I'm not familiar with who uses that tech as a no pause streamer. I don't know that there are that many FTL no pause streamers around anymore, to be honest. Some of you all may know if there's anybody still hard mode no pausing out there, but I know that Hollow doesn't play FTL, hasn't played it for a while now. I think maybe Crow sometimes plays, although I'm pretty sure I've seen Crow playing other games whenever I do see him streaming, so. He was a black belt engine. I turned him down. True. I think we are ready to kill him. Oh, these drones are taking forever to get down. Come on. Come on. Finish the drones. Here we go. Pikachu. RPGNerdos feels like cheeky swipes are pixel perfect. You've only managed it a couple times with pause. They don't show if you're doing it right either. You only know as a swipe is happening because of the damage, right? I think so. Because I think the way it happens is you swipe along a line between two rooms, but it actually doesn't, when you hover over it, it doesn't show that you're hovering over a room. So all you have to, what you have to see is the damage happening twice every time the swipe goes through, so yeah. I don't know. And again, I'm not even an expert on them because I don't ever use them, so. You have to swipe this so that it doesn't highlight either room is how it works, yeah. These guys will fire fast enough if he doesn't get his missile off. That'd be awesome. Nope. Okay, well the timing's still good on this. I guess I can cloak right now.
Oh, wow, big surprise. He dodged just enough for me to do 0 fucking damage.
Okay, good. Alright. 0 damage boss fight. Actually, we did take damage phase 1. Oh, wait, does this hit? No, any false shots hit, I think we have. Whatchamacallit. Result and shield still up. Ah, they never even got the result and shield. Beautiful. Let's bring them back. Alright. They were just shy of killing missiles before they fired. I think I did it instantly. GG Cookie Time. The Alf Cruiser, the Minimus, aka the Minimalist Cruiser on the box.com from RPGNerdos. Crazy OP boarding ship with a bunch of surprise augments hiding in there to help protect you from shots with hidden Zoltan Shield, protect you from losing your crew with hidden Royal Jelly that basically is nanobot, heal nanobots with no heal bite. Let's check that score. 65-38, not bad. Fun little ship and a very interesting cloaking image that makes it look like you're in another dimension or something. So, well done to RPGNerdos. Always a fun run. Wow, that took us over 2 hours. I must have really taken my time with boarding. Well, we definitely have time for 2 more ships today, though. So we're going to check out Eagle's Eye ship next. Before we do that, I'm going to stand up and stretch, use the restroom. Y'all, feel free to grab a drink, grab a snack, have a cookie, enjoy chair, or add sellout time. And when we come back, we will play another awesome ship from you awesome people. See you in just a bit, my friends.